right, guys, welcome back to the Mid-Level Media Channel. This is your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken. Today, guys, we are here for another epic review. Today, we are talking about Ben-Hur on 4K. This is a new Warner Brothers 4K release. Now, this is the slipcover standard edition right here that I'll be showcasing in this review. There's also a steelbook version that I think is on Amazon and Groove. I think it's still available. I'll link it down below. I'll be providing all the links down below, the price points and all that good stuff. I think this is $24.99, but sometimes the prices fluctuate. They go up, they go down. But yeah, guys, I'm excited to get into this. I mean, we just talked about Excalibur on 4K. We are eating good in the month of February as far as physical media and 4K upgrades. Like, it is an incredible time. It is an incredible time for home video enthusiasts. So we're going to get into all that in this review today. But before we get into it, guys, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Turn on bell notifications for all future videos. And let's just dive in because there's a lot to cover here, just like Excalibur. Not as much as with Excalibur. There's a lot of features there. There are new features here, but there isn't as much. But just in terms of the movie itself, the film is almost 4 hours long. Like, I'd never seen the film before. So I pretty much took the entire day yesterday watching this movie. And what an experience, guys. And I do like to talk about the film itself, guys, just to give you all fair warning. If you're new to the channel, anything like that, I like to talk about my experience with the movie. I like to talk about the 4K audio quality, all that stuff we'll get into, special features. We'll do an unboxing of this as well. But I just like to break it all down for you and give my thoughts and give my experience. But this movie was truly epic. I loved it. I loved it. And I was a little concerned going in because of the 4-hour runtime. And it's just so classic the way it starts with the overture and it's like 6 minutes. I was like, what's going on? Because I'd seen movies like that before, but I kind of forgot about it. So I fast forward a little bit to see when it ends at like the 6-minute mark. But man, it's so epic. It has the intermission. That's when you switch the discs out and stuff, because this 4K is on 2 discs, guys. That's I think Lawrence of Arabia, it was the same thing with that as well, but I haven't had a 2-disc 4K and quite experience in quite some time. But man, this movie was so exciting and entertaining, like, all throughout. And I have to give the credit to Charlton Heston because he really leads this film. And I'd seen Charlton Heston and stuff and older stuff like Planet of the Apes. The 10 Commandments I used to watch on TV when I was a kid. I still haven't watched that 4K though. I need to watch that. Definitely a classic, actor, but he does a great job leading this film. I mean, the supporting cast in this movie as well. I don't know everybody by name, but everybody was just so good. This movie, well, it came out let me give you a little information on the film. The movie came out in 1959. It's directed by William Wyler. It's starring Charlton Heston as the character of Judah Ben-Hur, who plays a Jew that's kind of leading his people in the uprising against the Roman Empire. And then his friend is one of the generals of the Roman Empire. And they've got, obviously conflicting views, and that leads to a betrayal. And Ben-Hur goes into slavery, and then he's got to fight his way back to save his family. So it's a story of friendship, love, betrayal, redemption, salvation, revenge. Like, all of these themes are just permeating throughout this film. And I just loved it. Everything about this movie, I was just completely drawn to and locked in. In the 50s, TV was being introduced into the mix. And a lot of people, the heads of these studios were afraid that because of the television, people weren't going to go out to the theaters as much. So they had to find, it's kind of the spot we're in nowadays. People are having to find reasons, to get people to come out and see their movies in the theaters. And a lot of times a lot of ways you'll find now they're using the same reasons, like these filmmakers, like they talk about in the special features, but Ryan Coogler is using the same, filmmaking technology and techniques that some of these older classical, directors utilize to draw people back in the theaters in 2026. So all this stuff is still relevant nowadays, but they made this movie as big and epic and extraordinary as possible to draw people back into the theaters and give them that big, epic theatrical experience that they could not get at home. And as a result of that, this film, it was a huge budget at the time. $15 million was the budget of this film, which feels like nothing now. But if you add in inflation, that's a pretty hefty budget for a movie, especially back in 1959. It utilized massive sets, thousands of extras, and it was filmed in the most epic way possible on 65 millimeter widescreen, which is also known as Panavision, Ultra Panavision 70. So I tried to look up and look into all this information. Plus, the special features in this provided a lot of good information as well. But like, which is basically like this super widescreen format that just showcases everything. Like that chariot race, which is so epic on its own. Like it's so like spread out. Like you can see all the horses like just side by side and just it looks so epic on screen. Like I couldn't imagine being in the theater back in 1959. Holy shit. Like this movie looks epic by today's standards. Like back in 1959, I imagine people had never seen anything like this movie on the big screen. It's incredible. Movie was nominated for 12 Academy Awards, won 11 out of 12 of the Academy Awards, and it had the record until Titanic in 1997. So it took almost 40 years for that record to be broken. The movie's 4 hours. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be a slog to get through. And it moves so quickly. It moves so quickly. There's so much great story here. And I love the movie. I was blown away by the movie itself. And all of you all out there are like, well, Ken, obviously we know we've been watching Ben-Hur on DVD and Blu-ray and VHS, and I watched it in maybe some of y'all are old enough to you watched it in the theaters back in 1959. You guys know about Ben-Hur, but I've got these big classic like, blocks. I've got these big classic gaps in movies that I haven't seen. And I was glad to fill in one of those big gaps with this movie, Ben-Hur now. And this will be one that I watch often, especially when we get into the quality of the 4K disc. Now, speaking of the 4K itself, guys, diving into the 4K restoration, this is a native 4K restoration. You got Dolby Vision, you got HDR. This is actually split on 2 discs. Like I said earlier, you have the first part of the movie, which is 2 hours and 20 minutes. That is on 1 disc. It's on a 100 gigabyte disc. And then the second half of the movie, which is about roughly an hour and 20 minutes, is on a 66 gigabyte disc. And they actually have a separate disc, a Blu-ray disc, that doesn't have the movie. The Blu-ray disc in here does not have the movie, but it has all the special features. So they're not putting any of the special features other than the audio commentaries on the actual 4K discs themselves. So the 4K discs themselves have all the room to breathe. And it is just extraordinary, guys. You have a 276:1 aspect ratio, which this was originally in the theaters at a 275:1 aspect ratio, but you have that super wide screen format. And this movie, guys, look, if you're watching this review and you've been collecting for Ben-Hur, you've been buying Ben-Hur home video editions since the 80s, early 90s, you bought it on VHS, you bought it on Betamax, I don't know if it was on Betamax, Laserdisc, DVD, Blu-ray, all the collector's editions, and you're asking yourself, Ken, what reason is there for me to upgrade this to 4K? There's a lot of reasons to upgrade this for 4K. First off, Dolby Vision, guys. Dolby Vision HDR for this film, and Warner Brothers doesn't always do Dolby Vision. We know that, guys. We've complained about that before. But this film, I can't put it into words. I really cannot put into words just how breathtaking and gorgeous this movie was on every level. The costumes, the scenery, the epic like set pieces of this movie, like the chariot race and the ship battle against the pirates, like all of that stuff's extraordinary. You have like legitimate practical sets in this film that look extraordinary on 4K. Like every single detail is perfectly highlighted. And when you throw in that Dolby Vision with that wide array of colors, and you've got that the Roman Empire, the costumes, the attire of the soldiers with the red and the silvery breastplates, all that stuff looks so incredible. It is beautiful. I cannot put into words how gorgeous this is. Like all of that scenery, there's so much incredible detail. to this picture quality. It is just insane. And because I haven't seen the movie before, I haven't seen it on Blu-ray. Maybe it looks great on Blu-ray, and probably does. I mean, I'm sure you see all the details that it looks perfectly fine on Blu-ray. If you're happy with your Blu-ray, then that's fine. That's fine. Then go ahead and click off this review and go watch your Blu-ray of Ben-Hur. But if you want to take your movie watching experience of Ben-Hur to the next level, you have got to get this 4K. It was extraordinary, guys. I just talked about Excalibur and how great that looked. Excalibur is definitely epic. It's an epic fantasy story. This movie takes epic to a whole new level. I've honestly, like, I've never experienced a movie or a 4K like this that was this epic. I'm gonna be honest. I think this is the most epic, mesmerizing, spectacular 4K restoration that I've ever seen. Honestly, I think that I've ever seen. It is so incredible what they did here. I cannot get over it. Everything, like, again, the costumes, everything's so vibrant and it's fully realized in 4K for the first time. You got that incredible cinematography by Robert Surtees, who was a true master of the craft. His work is finally being fully realized in 4K. That is why 4K is so important, guys. It brings this stuff, it updates this stuff for a new generation to be able to appreciate the magnificent work that went into creating these films, which is not really utilized nowadays. Like, people will lean on CGI, they'll lean on all the different AI tools and stuff at their disposal to create these epic, big movies, green screen, all that stuff. They didn't use a green screen back in 1958 when they made Ben-Hur. All this was legitimate, practical. They built these massive statues. They built these ship miniatures to actually float in water. Like, everything was real and it was tangible. In this movie, guys, because of that, it looks incredible. It really highlights all of the amazing work that went into this movie. And it is so important. Like, people that are on the fence about 4K, that are maybe 4K detractors, and maybe you only buy like more modern movies on 4K, 2000s movies, 2010 movies, newer films on 4K. You're like, I'm not too impressed with 4K. The Blu-ray is just fine with these more modern films. Anyway, you can't fully appreciate what 4K can do for some of these movies until you go back and watch a classic film restoration like Ben-Hur. You have got to watch something like this. You got to watch something like North by Northwest, which is the very same year as Ben-Hur, 1959. You have got to watch these classic film restorations to truly appreciate these 4K upgrades. And this is truly a magnificent, extraordinary 4K by Warner Brothers. They did such a good job with this. Like I said, every detail is showcased and only serves to highlight how much care went into this film. The one scene that really stood out to me is after the chariot race, which is so big and grand and epic, guys. Oh my God, it was so extraordinary. We'll talk about it again when we get into the sound. The makeup effects on Masala's leg, who's the bad guy in the film, essentially. After the race, like, his leg is so mangled up, it's so gory. Like, I couldn't believe it. This movie's rated G, guys. The movie is rated G, and his leg looks so gory and grotesque and just mangled up. And, like, you could have phoned in that makeup, like, effects detail and stuff and just, like, painted it red or something, but there is so much incredible detail in just how his leg looks, and the fact that they paid that much attention and detail to that really just kind of took me aback a little bit, because his legs were obviously dragging on the sand as it was going around at super fast speeds from these horses. And, like, they showed that all of his skin had been skinned off. Like, if you looked at his chest, like, some of his muscle was showing. All that stuff is perfectly highlighted. That detail is perfectly highlighted with this 4K. And I just thought that was extraordinary, because, again, the detail at every level in the filmmaking of this movie is just incredible what they did here. Let's get into the sound, okay? So with this film, you've got a Dolby Atmos upgrade. You got Dolby True HD 7.1. You also got a DTS HD Master Audio 5.0. You've got French and Spanish options in 5.1 as well. The sound upgrade here, guys, like this, like, we talk about these classic films and upgrading them to Atmos, like, sometimes that doesn't work. With this film, it works. They went in, restructured the sound, redid the sound, upgraded it to Dolby Atmos. When that chariot race is going on, guys, and you hear those horses' feet hit that sand and it's going around, it is epic. The sound was, honestly, it was shaking my basement. Like, it was rumbling my entire house because I had this thing up full blast. My wife's yelling down, "What are you watching down there?" Like, "I'm watching Ben-Hur, honey. Mind your own business." Freaking fantastic. I'm sitting there just listening to this all around me. It felt like I was in the middle of the chariot race myself. Like the horses and the rumbling and the shaking. It's extraordinary. If you've got that full Atmos setup, like, you are going to be completely immersed in that chariot race sequence, which, like I said, is just extraordinary. Then you got the score of this movie, which is so epic as well. The score in this film, the music in this film really, like, just draw you in to the overall feel of the movie. Like, that is really the emotional punch of the film, is listening to that music. Like, I just feel like music in movies is really kind of everything, and the score in this is just extraordinary and really just gets you in to the film. And yeah, in Dolby Atmos, it sounds fantastic as well. Let's get into an unboxing of this, guys. Right here, look, Warner Brothers gets some crap for their slip covers, I feel like, sometimes, for their artwork on their standard editions. I think this is really great. I think this is fantastic artwork right here. Look at this, guys. You got the statues, you got the chariot race. It's really extraordinary. Then you got the 11 Academy Awards right there at the bottom. You flip it to the back, you got Charlton Heston on the horses. All that information. Then you take it out of the slipcover. Same image on the front. Same stuff on the back, except for you got the casting list right there, which is great. You open this up, you got a digital code in here. You've also got the first 4K disc right there, which says 100 gigabyte disc. Then you got the second 4K disc, and then you got all the special features on the Blu-ray disc right there. So this is a 3-disc set. And getting into the special features, guys, you got a couple of really good brand new special features with this. You have got, let's see, you got a commentary here by film historian T. Gene Hatcher and with Charlton Heston. So that is an older audio commentary. Then you also have an option to just listen to the music while you're watching the film. You have the music only track on the 4K discs. Then you've got 2 all new special features. You've got Ben-Hur, Anatomy of an Epic, and then you got the Cinematography of Scale. So these are both just kind of talking heads special features. They're about 7-8 minutes long a piece, and it's just people round table style talking about Ben-Hur, the legacy of Ben-Hur. They also get into a little bit of the 4K restoration, which I appreciate as well. I always like when special features do that, but both of these are really solid special features. It's nothing too lengthy. It's just kind of standard stuff, just talking about the legacy of Ben-Hur and the importance of it in cinematic history. It's good stuff. It has a lot of good information, but it's nothing like, too lengthy or anything you can really kind of get into. And then you got all the past special features as well, which includes a Charlton Heston documentary on his career. Then you got the making of Ben-Hur, which is about an hour long. The Charlton Heston one's about 70 minutes long. And then, yeah, screen tests and more here. So yeah, a lot of great stuff with this release, guys. I love the fact that Warner Brothers, a studio, does include new special features. Like, they've been really good about that. They've been really consistent about that. So I think that's a good thing. But the real draw here, guys, is this damn movie on 4K. I can't get over it. Like, I just talked about Excalibur, and I'm like, if this is not in everybody's top 10 at the end of 2026, like, I don't know what will be. Like, my thoughts are pretty much the same with Ben-Hur. Like, if this is not in a top 10, if this is not like top 3 4K discs of all time for classic film restorations, I don't know what is. Like, just the epic, like, scale and nature of this film in 4K, like, there's really nothing that competes with it. It's really extraordinary and amazing, and I love the film, and I love my experience watching this movie on 4K. It was just spectacular. But that's my review of Ben-Hur, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, I'll be linking everything down below in the description. The standard 4K, the Steelbook, all that stuff down below in the description. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. So it's coming out February the 17th. Let me know if you plan on getting it in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to turn on bell notifications for all future videos and follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.